Greetings, everyone. Way back in October of 2009, yeah, a solid 3 years ago. Wow, do I ever procrastinate or what? I did a series of reviews, Halloween horror-related reviews. I had recently picked up a collection of movies that I've been wanting for a very long time, and found most of them for a song and a dance. They just happened to be on sale, clearance prices. I think I didn't pay more than about $10 a set for these. Hell of a good deal, considering each one of the sets in this collection. There's 6 sets total in this collection. Each one of the sets has anywhere from 3 to 5 movies in it, plus a whole pile of extras. It's just a great collection and an absolute treat for fans of this particular series. Well, to make a long story short, I did 4 videos. The first was just sort of an overview of the first 3 of the 6 collections, and then the second, third, and fourth were in-depth looks or in-depth reviews of the movies in each of the collections, sort of my thoughts on the movies. So I did the first part in color, basically, talking about the sets, showing the packaging, talking about the contents, stuff like that. And then I did the remaining 3 in black and white, sort of as my little nod to the movies themselves, which are, of course, all in black and white. What am I talking about? Well, the title probably gives it away. I don't know why I'm acting like it's a big mystery. This is something I know a lot of you have been waiting a very, very long time for, and I applaud your patience and dedication, waiting year after year, every Halloween, hoping I would finish this set. Well, I'm finally going to finish the reviews of the Universal Monsters Legacy Collection. Now, the previous set of reviews, I talked about the first 3 collections in the set. Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman. There's no point in sort of repeating what I've already done. So if you'd like to check out the first 4 parts of this long overdue continuation of those reviews, I will include links to all 4 of them down in the description. So, we already talked about these many, many moons ago, but there's 3 more collections in the set. We also have The Mummy, The Invisible Man, and finally, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Since it's been so long since I did my take on the first 3, I thought when we do the look at the packaging, we'll take another look at the first 3 as well, because I was still using my old standard def camera back then. I didn't have a nice high def camera like I do now. So we'll take a bit of a closer look at all 6 sets. But for now, we're going to talk about the contents of the last 3 sets, which I've never talked about before. I think that actually the original reason I didn't do them at the time was because I hadn't actually got the other 3 sets yet. I think I had the Mummy one, but I still needed to track down the Invisible Man and Creature from the Black Lagoon, and it wasn't until the following Halloween I actually managed to pick them up and just neglected to do the review. Meant to do them last year. I actually did Sam segments for all of them last year, but didn't get around to doing it, so yeah, so here we are, 3 years later, finally doing it. So let's do it! The Universal Monsters Legacy Collection, completing the reviews at last, today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Okay, so I guess we'll start off with The Mummy here. We got, very nice. It's, of course, Boris Karloff as the Mummy. Nice shot there with the pyramids down below. Now, just before we get into this, before anyone asks, and I know a lot of you are probably itching to know, I am aware of this collection that recently came out, namely a beautiful Blu-ray set of not all of the Universal Monsters movies, but some of the more popular ones, including actually The Creature from the Black Lagoon, the original Creature from the Black Lagoon, in 3D. Some of you may not know this, but the first 2 Creature from the Black Lagoon movies were actually originally done in 3D back in the 50s. Yes. Now this would have been, I guess, the old red and blue anaglyph style 3D. It wasn't until the 80s that we actually got the kind of 3D that we have in theaters now, namely polarized. But yeah, so it was one of the earlier examples of 3D. So now we actually have it on Blu-ray in 3D, in probably better 3D than it's ever been in before. So that's pretty darn cool. Yeah, as to whether or not I'm going to pick up the coffin set, I would love to pick up the coffin set, except A, money's really tight right now. October is always a dead month for work and hours and stuff. And B, I haven't actually seen it anywhere here. I've only ever seen it online. Or, you know, friends in the States have told me they've seen it in stores there. So I don't even know if it's actually available in Canada, which kind of sucks if it isn't. Oh well. I'm hoping they'll do more or less Blu-ray equivalents of these at some point, because this really is, you know, as complete a set as you can hope to get. And it includes a lot of the rarer films as well, which don't often get individual releases. So that's pretty cool. All right, so back to The Mummy. So we have The Mummy here. Very nice set indeed. Very cool. And just like the other ones, these are all exactly the same style of packaging. So you have some of the overlay there, an overlay of the pyramids, and then you have Boris Karloff as the mummy there, just the headshot there. And then on the back, it actually gives you a list of the contents. So on this particular set, we actually have 5 movies. We've got the original 1932 film of The Mummy. We've got the theatrical trailer. Mummy Dearest, A Horror Tradition Unearthed, an original documentary by film historian David J. Scull. Film historian Paul M. Jensen provides insightful commentary to the film, and the Mummy Archives. The Mummy Archives is, you know, photos and stuff like that, and all kinds of cool little tidbits. But basically, really nice. I mean, all of these collections are really nice loaded sets, sure to please fans. So it is a 2-disc set. I'll show you actually the inside here. We have disc 1 right there, and then actually an insert which fits nicely inside the sort of folds of the book there. Got a little ad for the other stuff, another list of contents which with actual summaries of the movies. We'll go into that when we actually do the episode dedicated to the Mummy movies. And then we have a double-sided disc with the other 4 movies on it. I believe they are double-sided dual layer. They may be double-sided single layer, actually, because each of the movies isn't much more than an hour long. So, yeah, my friends and I actually marathoned all 4 of the sequels in one night, and it was like not even 4.5 hours worth of viewing there. So, disc 2, side 1, we have the movies and trailers, and disc 2, side 2, we have movies and trailers as well. That's the only extras that are on the second disc, is just the trailers for the individual movies. So, disc 2, side 1, we have The Mummy's Hand from 1940, and The Mummy's Tomb from 1942. And disc 2, side 2, we have The Mummy's Ghost from 1944, and then The Mummy's Curse, also from 1942 or 44. So they actually cranked out 2 sequels that year. So very cool indeed. Definitely enjoyed this one. Of the ones that are not of the so-called big 3, you know, Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, they're kind of the most popular ones. The Mummy is definitely my favorite. I really enjoy those ones a lot, and we'll talk about that more in the next part. Next up, we have The Invisible Man. Very, very nice set. That's, of course, Claude Rains as The Invisible Man. One of his first American films, actually, The Invisible Man. So there you go. So again, slides out. I don't know what happened. It's kind of curved there or something. I don't know. It gets a little bit warped. So you got a little bit of landscape there. Is it landscape? It's sort of like town stuff. And then a better shot of Claude Rains there. Well, I guess technically the same shot of Claude Rains, but a little better look at it without the overlay on top of it. So then here, disc 1, we have The Invisible Man from 1933, which is basically directly adapted from the H.G. Wells story. Then you have Now You See Him, The Invisible Man Revealed, an original documentary by film historian Rudy Belmer, a feature commentary with film historian Rudy Belmer, and production photographs. Then we got another double-sided disc. We got disc 2, side 1. We have The Invisible Man Returns from 1940, starring Vincent Price, actually, in one of his early roles. Very young Vincent Price. When you actually finally get to see him, it's quite amazing how young he is in that. And then you have The Invisible Woman, also from 1940. And then disc 2, side 2, you've got Invisible Agent, 1942, and finally The Invisible Man's Revenge from 1944. So it seems like 1944 was the year that almost all the monster franchises kind of stopped. They just like, yep, we're done now. Here's the last flood of sequels, and we're moving on. Yeah. Yeah, the only extras that are on the second disc for the sequels is actually for the Invisible Agent. I don't know if they have since found trailers for the other 3 sequels, but, well, if they had, they're not on this set. Yeah. So, yeah, pretty fun stuff. Another nice collection there. You know, again, lots of extras. The documentaries are always interesting to see because they do try to pull together as many of the surviving cast and crew of the various franchises as they can. So, needless to say, the ones that are still alive are quite ancient by this time, but a lot of times they do have interesting stories and insights to share about their experience making the films and with fans of the years, stuff like that. So definitely worth checking out. And then finally we have The Creature from the Black Lagoon. This one I was really eager to see because I had not seen these movies in a very long time. In fact, I don't think I had ever seen any of the sequels. I'd only seen the first one when I was a kid, and I really didn't remember much about it. So I was really excited to check this one out again. The Creature from the Black Lagoon is the shortest of the 3 sets because it actually only has 3 movies on it. That's all they ever did. Yeah. So if we pull this out here, the overlay, we basically have a little bit of a sort of underwater cave there. Pretty cool. And then here we have, there you go, the creature carrying the helpless young maiden. So the Creature from the Black Lagoon is also the most modern of all of them. The original is actually from 1954, and they did annual sequels for 3 years. So this one actually has quite a lot of extras, I guess, to make up for the fact that there isn't as many movies. We have Creature from the Black Lagoon on disc 1, 1954, along with the theatrical trailer. Back to the Black Lagoon, an original documentary by film historian David J. Scull. Feature commentary with film historian Tom Weaver, and production photographs. Disc 2, we have Revenge of the Creature from 1955, which incidentally was also done in 3D originally. We got the theatrical trailer for that. We got feature commentary with cast member Laurie Nelson and film historians Tom Weaver and Bob Burns. Yeah, I guess being slightly more recent films, there's a little bit more in the way of surviving cast and crew, so you can actually talk to them. And then finally we have The Creature Walks Among Us from 1956. That was also originally planned to be in 3D, but apparently they did not do it in 3D after all. So I guess the 3D craze was kind of dying off by that point. It was pretty short-lived in the 50s. Okay, so then we have the theatrical trailer, and finally a feature commentary again with film historians Tom Weaver and Bob Burns. Very cool. So that is The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Which way are we going here? Getting all turned upside down, inside out, and backwards. And then if we are to take another quick look at the other 3 here, let me just move these out of the way. Take a quick peek at Dracula. Little Bela Lugosi there. Very nice indeed. And then on the back. And then we go in here. We're going the right way? No, other way. Yeah, the first sets, I think I go over this in the previous video, the inserts were actually too big to fit inside the book. So I had to sort of put them to the side. And there you go, and there you see the Brides of Dracula on the back. And then, oh yeah, and I still have the movie ticket to Van Helsing. I don't actually have Van Helsing in the collection at the moment. I had it briefly. I will get it again. And there you go. You can see the reflection of the camera screen there. Amazing. And there you go. So that's Dracula. Ooh, Okay, cheesy. That's what I'm about. The cheese. Maximum cheese in effect. Okay, so let's just tidy that up a little bit. And then we have Frankenstein. Oh, sorry, I guess I should show you. There we go. Frankenstein. So lightning and castle and then the monsters. Very striking, exciting picture there. And then all kinds of stuff on the back. And then if we slide him out, again, the insert is too big to fit in the book, so we just put it to the side. So there's a closer look at the monster. Some amazing makeup work by Jack Pierce there. Pioneer of movie monster makeup. And another ticket for Van Helsing. Excellent. Definitely have to go see that when it comes out 10 years ago. And then Frankenstein. Yeah, I really like the disc art on these, actually. It's very cool. I actually just really like the visual design in general. Sort of like they're carved, almost like they're carved out of marble. And then they just have this beautiful old school look to them that I really like. It's just a terrific set overall. There we go. And slide that. Come on. Let's do it this way then. Come on, get back in there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Frankenstein was the one in the franchise that had the most direct sequels, actually. I guess maybe tied by The Mummy. Although if you include the Monster Mash-up, like the so-called Monster Mash movies with Dracula, Frankenstein, and Wolfman in them, I think Frankenstein wins for sequels. But The Mummy comes very close. So then you got another Van Helsing ticket, and I'm not even talking about it. I'm just like, taking everything out of the packaging. Sorry about that. Here we go. We got the Wolfman. A little hard to see the bottom part there, but it's basically, what is it anyway? It's a tree. It's a tree at night, and then you can barely see some people sort of searching there. Actually, if we slide this out, there you go. You can see that a lot better. Okay. And then the back, got all your special features and stuff like that. Very, very cool indeed. And then again, the insert being too big to fit in the box. And then finally, the book style case inside, which I really like. It's very classy indeed. And then in here again, we have beautiful disc art and the double-sided disc. And that's that. So, 1 down, 3 to go. So, just while I put this back together here. So next time we're going to start talking about the various movies, because... So next time we're going to start talking about the various movies and sort of my thoughts on those. I've been watching them. I actually did watch all 3 of these sets, The Mummy, Invisible Man, and Creature from the Black Lagoon, last year. I was like this close to actually doing the reviews last year, and I just never got around to it. But I did watch all the movies in those sets, but it's been a year, so I've forgotten a lot of stuff. So I've been rewatching them again this year, which, I really have no complaints about, because I love these movies, and I could watch them all the time. Over the course of this entire collection, you've got, 5, 10, 15, 20, 27? Yeah, I think it's like 27 movies, something like that. I don't feel like taking them all off and counting them. But yeah, I believe it's 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, and 3, if I'm correct. So, yeah, that's a lot of value. You can still find these particular collections in the bargain bins sometimes. So if you happen across them for, $10 or whatever, grab them. They're a great deal. They're awesome. One thing I should mention, which was brought to light by a viewer a little while ago, there were some other legacy collections put out just of the first few movies in the various franchises. There was one for Dracula in particular that was of note, because not only was it a slightly cleaner, more cleaned up print, but also apparently it's the full uncensored version. Now, the only real difference there is Dracula's final scream at the end was originally kind of censored for the theatrical release, but then it was later restored for some of the home video releases. Sadly, the one that's on this set is apparently the censored version. However, the subsequent Legacy collection that came out, which looks like this, quite a nice cover. I actually might like to grab that just as a display piece. Apparently that is the uncensored version. And and I should mention, while we're on the subject, I also did Legacy collections of Frankenstein and the Wolfman and the Mummy. I'm pretty sure that was it. And now, of course, we've got Blu-ray releases coming out of a lot of the movies as well. So, needless to say, I definitely want to pick those up. Whether or not it's the coffin set whatever, I'll be happy just to have nice Blu-rays of these fantastic classic monster movies. Alrighty, well that is it for part 5, I guess, technically. See you next time for part 6, in which we'll talk about the Mummy movies, all 5 of them, and just give you my thoughts on the movies. The movie review episodes are probably going to be a lot shorter than this one. This is sort of a, all-encompassing overview, so it's by necessity longer. But yeah, so I'll see you guys next time. Until then, thanks for watching, and sayonara. Alright, it's been 3 years, time to finish it. Greetings, everyone. Well, as part of I guess it was the first ever sort of dedicated month of Halloween stuff I did, back in October of 2009, I did a series of reviews about a collection of movies that I'd picked up that, yeah... stuff and things. Awesome. And so if you'd like to check out those reviews, I will include descriptions down in the links. Yep. Links down in the descriptions. Description. There's only one description, and there's going to be links there. Fuck, just talk. And if you'd like to check out those old reviews, I will include links down in the description. So, go... Blah, blah. So if you'd like to check out those, fuck, why can't I talk? And finally we have The Creature Walks Among Us from 1956, which was going to be done in 3D, but I think at that point the 3D craze was kind of dying off. It was very short-lived in the 50s. So they just didn't get the, much better. Better to just let it fly than be trying to choke it back while talking.